there are a lot of agricultural industries in Texas that are greatly affected by the pigs and the damage that they do. When you look at the way the economics work in it with the costation of the products that you're getting from those farmers, they're having to figure losses in due to these pigs, which then raises the price in your local grocery store on the products that these pigs are tearing up in the fields. You know, you can never take care of them with hunting. Trapping is effective as well. I do believe that with a mixture of hunting and trapping together, if it's done properly, that you can control it.
What are the issues you see with the trapping? Like when you say it's done properly, what's a manifestation of improper?
Okay. The intelligence levels of pigs are what a lot of people take for granted. They say that pigs have the cognitive ability of a 4-year-old child, which might not sound like much, but if you take a 4-year-old and you put them in an environment where they harm themselves or they have one of their little friends get harmed, they see the things that cause harm, and then they're going to remember that and they're going to respond accordingly to that harm when they're put in that position again. So what happens with the trapping is people will set a trap out, and especially with the ones that are not cellular controlled, the ones that are just tripwire controlled, they've got some kind of dummy rig on them that causes the trap door to close and catches a couple of pigs. Now what happens is you get a group of 20 or 30 pigs, which are running in a sounder, which is what a group of pigs is called. They're going to come in around this trap. The trap closes on 1 or 2 pigs. The other 18 or 20 or 28 or however many are there learn to stay away from that trap. At that point, that trap becomes ineffective for those pigs, the piglets that will be raised with those pigs in generational going down the line. Now, there are other traps that, like I was mentioning, that are cellular controlled. So people can see on their phone when the trap is full with the pigs and they've got all the pigs in the inside the trap. Basically, they hit a switch, the trap falls, traps all of the pigs. So it's effective in that. But like I say, to really get a grasp on the hog population, it's going to take effective trapping as well as thermal and helicopter hunting for these pigs to get it done. When I speak of hunting these pigs, I do not mean somebody sitting in a deer blind with their granddad's deer rifle and shooting a pig every other day or 1 pig a week. That will not ever help control the population of these pigs with the amount of pigs that are reproducing and as fast as they're reproducing.
Yeah. I am so taken aback again to just like walk into what felt like a little bit of a hornet's nest and realize I'm completely out of my element. Because I talked to several people and it's like, man, it started to get weird real quick because in Texas, property rights is a big deal. People have a real sense of like, this is my land, you know, I should be able to do certain things on it. And when whew.
It's a big deal in Texas. It is. And I understand from these farmers' point of views. I've been very lucky that I've been able to get in with the people that I am in with that allow me to take care of their land. But it was not an easy, short process. There were a lot of proving myself that had to have been done to get that. And a lot of people don't understand in Texas that you've got some of these people that own this land, and there's so much liability out there of somebody coming on and shooting a tractor or shooting a pivot, which is irrigation system, shooting a cow, all of these different things. And while they're monetarily replaceable, it burns the trust factor.
Yeah.
And that, you know, you get some of these guys that have owned this land for generations, and one bad experience with one person can hurt everybody's opportunity and chance to get on that land.
The stewardship, again, as a novice, watching Steve Ranella, him riding the line between harvesting animals and understanding that like the lottery system for certain species. He was hunting mountain goats in a recent episode, and I don't have as much background with it. So to understand, okay, he drew a tag for this mountain goat, very different than hogs. And he's like, I can't draw another tag. I can't even apply for another 7 years. He's like, this might be the last time I ever get a chance. I'm like, wow. I just, it's a window into this world that's just unknown to me. And when I got the photos from you, I was laughing hysterically because I think, from no offense to people, but it's like if you're a city slicker and you see a guy leaning on a mountain of hogs, you're like, that's absurd. And it's like, they're like rats. They're pests. They're destroying people's land. This is
It's
just,
like,
yeah.
exactly right. What I've told people, if you can step on a cockroach in your kitchen, or if you can trap a mouse in your garage and you're not losing sleep over that, you shouldn't lose sleep over people taking care of the pigs that are the same type of nuisance to these farmers.
I see the divide, and even when I talk to some friends about this, they were interesting. They were kind of like, dude, what are you what are you doing? You're stepping into like Republican central, gun owning. And I'm like, wait a second. Okay. I mean, yes, I'm stepping into a different population of people who are dealing with rural concerns. The pigs are probably encroaching on cities in various ways. Like I've seen photos, I think, here in like Georgetown or something where they've had an occasional pig run through a parking lot. But when people only have any interaction with animals as pets or picking up meat at a grocery store, I don't think they really understand the difference between like a farmer has a cow that's not a pet. This is a part of the farming environment and resources that they're dealing with land management. And then hogs are coming along and like destroying things and causing, just wreaking havoc essentially. It's a strange construct because for me on the outside, this is me again as a novice, I went, they're a pest, they're edible, and in Louisiana, that's how we solve problems. But then you're dealing with all this increasing complexity because the hogs don't care about your law. They don't care about property rights.
They don't. Not only that, but they also don't care about the traffic laws. Living where you're living, if you look at the tollway that has gone out just outside of Austin, look at the amount of traffic fatalities, traffic accidents that happen just on that little stretch of road that you can tie directly to feral pigs. And when you talk about city slickers and you talk about Republicans and Democrats, all of those folks, they're all people that are in some way or another are going to be affected by these animals at some point or another. Their take on proper management, they may have extremely differing opinions, which is okay, but they're all going to be affected in some way at some point by it.
Yeah. It's just as I'm using the podcast to reach out to different audiences, it was just almost painful for me to start to hear some of the same issues in regards to government control. And what came up, I think, very quickly was, is it warfarin? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Warfarin.
Warfarin. Yeah. Can you explain what that is very briefly and how that affects hog hunting and issues?
They came out with a poison that Sid Miller went to release that basically the hogs would ingest and it would cause them to. The problem was there were other animals that are out there that are not the target animals that are becoming casualties due to this poison. You have a pig that eats it and dies that has the poison in it. You're going to have the vultures that are eating the pigs. You're going to have coyotes that are eating the pigs. You're going to have songbirds that come in and might eat out of the same corn feeder as the pigs that have this warfarin in it. And while pigs are an issue, poisoning the other wildlife around is obviously not going to be the right way to go about taking care of the pigs.
Are there, and again, because it's unknown to me, are people still using this like commonly to poison pigs?
Not legally.
Not legally. Okay.
I do hear stories of farmers that go out and, these farmers aren't shooting the pigs. They don't have people like me out shooting them. They are putting out buckets of poison, and whatever dies. These guys, they want to protect their land. They want to protect their crops. They don't have pets running around the area. They don't have cattle running around the area. So if a pig comes in and eats it, or a coyote comes in and eats it, or a crow, or a mockingbird, squirrel, it's really not bothering them because their main goal is to take care of their crops and their land.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you see in regards to these issues that you'd like to bring to more light? The things that you wish the public understood about the issue?
There is a huge opportunity to take care of multiple issues with this hog problem that we're missing out on in the state of Texas. I have, and many other people like me, have looked at doing things to feed hungry people. We have a lot of people in our communities that don't have a good source of meat. They don't have a good source of protein. They can't go down and pick out the steaks that they want and make, the sausage and the bacon and all the other things from the store that some of us take for granted because financially they're not able to. if the government would open up a little bit and understand that there are avenues that we can take to feed these people that are in need with these animals that we're harvesting off these crops, it would basically kill two birds with one stone, if you will. I know that myself and my friends, my company, my clients, I'm fairly certain we could feed the hungry population for a pretty big distance around Lubbock, where I live, by ourselves, were the government to open up and allow us to do that without trying to have too much overreach and step in. And I understand that they want to protect by making sure that the animals are safe and they're processed properly and all of these things. But if they were to allow people like myself to donate these pigs and have them properly processed and give them to hungry families, it would be done in the same facilities that they already allow things like Hunters for the Hungry. Hunters for the Hungry, you can go down yourself and you can shoot a pig and you can go drop it off at a processing facility and pay them $50. They'll process that pig and they'll donate it through the game wardens and other people to places that need it.
Yeah.
The problem is at $50 a pig, when these farmers and these landowners have folks like me come out to take care of them, they don't want 2 or 3 pigs killed. They don't want you to round them up and wait until the next time you've got another $200 or $300 or $500 that you can go and donate to getting these pigs processed. They want the pigs gone, or they're going to find somebody else that'll come out and make them gone. That being said, if we could take these animals that we are harvesting, I think that we could definitely help out our fellow Texans that need it.